I'm in a fucking nightmare and need advice. I'm Tom, 37M, married to Jessica, 35F, for 9 years. We were that annoyingly perfect couple, high school sweethearts, dream wedding, matching SUVs in the driveway of our cookie-cutter suburban home. Hell, we even had a golden retriever named Max. Life was good, or so I thought. Lately, Jess has been acting weird as shit. Always working late, yeah right? Password on her phone changed, and get this, she started wearing matching underwear sets. Who the fuck does that on a Tuesday? Not the Jess I married, that's for sure. I tried to ignore the red flags, told myself I was being paranoid. But there was this gnawing feeling in my gut that wouldn't go away. Little did I know, my whole world was about to implode in the most unexpected way possible. Buckle up, folks. This is gonna be a wild ride. So, hey race where shit hits the fan. Last Friday, Jess tells me she's got a girls' night out planned. Cool, whatever. I decide to surprise her by picking her up from the bar later, being a good husband and all that crap. I pull up outside this dive bar downtown around midnight, and there she is, stumbling out the door, laughing her ass off. But she's not with her girlfriends. Oh no. She's hanging all over this greasy-looking dude in a ratty Yankees cap. I'm sitting there, frozen in my car, watching my wife practically mount this guy on the sidewalk. Then, get this, they hop into a beaten-up yellow cab. The guy's apparently a fucking taxi driver. Real classies. My brain's on fire. Do I follow them? Confront her right there? Go home and pretend I didn't see shit? I'm shaking so bad I can barely grip the steering wheel. But something in me snaps, and before I know it, I'm tailing that cab through the city like I'm in some B-grade detective movie. I follow the cab for about 20 minutes, my heart pounding so hard I think it might burst out of my chest. They pull up to this seedy motel on the outskirts of town, the kind that rents by the hour. Classy as fuck, right? I park across the street, watching as Jess and her new friend stumble into room 69. I shit you not, the universe has a sick sense of humor. I sit there for what feels like hours, my mind racing through every moment of our marriage, trying to figure out where it all went wrong. Did I not compliment her enough? Was I too focused on work? Or was she just a lying, cheating bitch this whole time? The questions are tearing me apart. Around 3 a.m., I see the taxi driver leave. He's got this smug grin on his face that makes me want to punch his teeth in. But I stay put, my hands gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles are white. Another hour passes before Jess emerges, looking disheveled and guilty as hell. She calls another cab, oh, the irony, and heads home. I follow at a distance, my stomach churning with a mix of rage, disgust, and heartbreak. I get home about 10 minutes after Jess. As I walk in, she's in the bathroom, probably trying to wash away the evidence of her little adventure. I hear the shower running and her off-key singing like it's just another fucking day. I sit on the edge of our bed, the bed we've shared for 9 years, the bed she's now tainted, and wait. My mind's racing, trying to figure out what to say, how to confront her. Do I go in guns blazing? Play it cool and gather more evidence? I don't know. Finally, she comes out wrapped in a towel, hair dripping. She jumps when she sees me, like I'm some kind of intruder in my own damn house. Tom, you scared me, she laughs nervously. I thought you'd be asleep by now. I look her dead in the eye and say, how was girls' night? She starts rambling about margaritas and dancing, spinning this elaborate web of bullshit. I sit there, watching her lie to my face with a smile, and something inside me just breaks. Cut the crap, I interrupt. I saw you at the bar. I saw you leave with that taxi driver. I followed you to the motel. The color drains from her face. For a second I think she might faint, but then her expression changes. It's not guilt or shame I see, it's anger. Like I'm the one who fucked up by catching her. You followed me? She screeches. What the hell, Tom? Don't you trust me? And that's when I realize, I'm married to a stranger. I can't believe this shit. She's actually trying to flip this on me? My blood's boiling, but I manage to keep my cool. Barely. Trust you? I laugh, but it's hollow. You're fucking kidding me, right? I just watched you bang a taxi driver in a sleazy motel, and you're asking if I trust you? Jess' face twists into this ugly sneer I've never seen before. Oh, grow up. It's not like that. You don't understand. Then explain it to me, I say, my voice dangerously low. Explain how screwing some random dude isn't like that. She starts pacing, still in her towel, gesticulating wildly. It's just sex, Tom. It doesn't mean anything. God, you're so boring and predictable. I needed some excitement in my life. I'm stunned. Boring? Predictable? After everything we've been through together? How long? I ask, dreading the answer. She shrugs, like we're discussing the weather. A few months. But it's not just him. There've been others. Others. Plural. My world is crumbling around me, and she's standing there like she's telling me she bought a new pair of shoes. But it's all I can manage to choke out. Because she spits. Because you're always working, always distracted. Because I'm not some housewife who's going to sit around waiting for you to pay attention to me. I feel like I've been punched in the gut. Is this really happening? Is this really the woman I married? I sit there, stunned, as Jess continues her tirade. It's like a dam has broken, and all this resentment and anger is pouring out of her. You want to know why, Tom? Because you're fucking boring in bed. Because you never want to try anything new. Because you're so caught up in your precious routines that you don't even see me anymore. Each word is like a knife to my chest. I try to speak, but she cuts me off. And you know what? Jake, that's the taxi driver's name, by the way. He sees me. He makes me feel alive. And he's not the only one. There's been Mark from the gym, and Sarah from my yoga class, and... Stop, I managed to croak out. Just stop. But she's on a roll now, cruel smile on her face as she twists the knife deeper. What's wrong, Tommy boy? Can't handle the truth? Can't handle that your precious wife likes to fuck other people? That maybe, just maybe, you're not God's gift to women? I feel sick. This isn't my Jess. This isn't the woman I fell in love with, the woman I've built a life with. It's like she's been replaced by some hateful, spiteful doppelganger. Why didn't you just leave? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. If you're so unhappy, why stay? She laughs, and it's a cold, hard sound. And give up this cushy life? Please. I'm not stupid, Tom. I know which side my bread is buttered on. And just like that, my entire marriage crumbles to dust before my eyes. I feel like I'm in some kind of twisted nightmare. My wife, the woman I've loved for over a decade, is standing there, basically admitting she's been using me this whole time. The shock starts to wear off, replaced by a burning rage I've never felt before. You know what, Jess? Fuck you, I spit out, standing up. You want excitement? How's this for excitement? I want a divorce. Her smug expression falters for a second, but she recovers quickly. Oh please, you don't have the balls. Watch me, I growl. I start grabbing clothes, shoving them into a duffel bag. I'm leaving. Tonight. You can have your precious cushy life all to yourself. Now she looks panicked. Tom, wait. Let's talk about this. You're overreacting. Overreacting? I laugh bitterly. You fuck half the town behind my back for months, and am overreacting? Go to hell. As I'm packing, my hand brushes against something in my dresser drawer. It's a small velvet box, the diamond earrings I bought for our upcoming anniversary. I pull them out and toss them at her feet. Hey, erase your precious lifestyle. Hope it keeps you warm at night. She's crying now, big crocodile tears. Tom, please. I'm sorry. We can work this out. I'll go to therapy, I'll do anything. But I'm done. Done with the lies, done with the manipulation. I zip up my bag and head for the door. Goodbye, Jessica. I hope Jake the taxi driver enjoys his new sugar mama. And with that, I walk out, slamming the door on my marriage and the life I thought I had. I end up at my buddy Mike's place. He takes one look at me standing there with my duffel bag and bloodshot eyes, and wordlessly hands me a beer. That's why he's my best friend. After I spill my guts to him, he lets out a low whistle. Holy shit, man. That's fucked up. Tell me about it, I mutter, downing half the beer in one go. We sit in silence for a while, the weight of my shattered life hanging between us. Then Mike speaks up. You know what? Booker. You deserve better to... I nod, but am not really listening. My phone's been blowing up with texts and calls from Jess. I finally turn it off. The next few days are a blur. I call in sick to work, spend most of my time on Mike's couch, alternating between rage and depression. Jess keeps trying to contact me, leaving voicemails, sending emails. She even shows up at Mike's place once, but he tells her to fuck off. It's on day 4 of my self-imposed exile that I decide I need to face reality. I can't hide out forever. I need to get my shit together, talk to a lawyer, figure out what comes next. I turn my phone back on, bracing myself for the barrage of messages. But there's only one new text from Jess. I'm pregnant. We need to talk. And just like that, my world implodes all over again. Holy fucking shit. Pregnant? My mind is reeling. Is she lying? Is it even mine? Or is it Jake the taxi driver's little bastard? I feel like I'm gonna puke. I show the text to Mike, who lets out a string of curses that would make a sailor blush. Dude, she's probably lying, he says, trying to calm me down. It's a classic move. She's just trying to manipulate you into coming back. I want to believe him, but there's this nagging doubt. What if it's true? What if, in the midst of all this chaos and betrayal, we've created a life? Against Mike's advice, I decide to meet Jess. Neutral ground, a coffee shop downtown. As I walk in, I see her sitting there, looking pale and nervous. For a split second, I remember the girl I fell in love with. Then I remember Jake the taxi driver, and my heart hardens. Is it true? I ask, sitting down across from her. She nods, tears in her eyes. I took 3 tests. All positive. And it's mine? I can't keep the bitterness out of my voice. She flinches. I think so. The timing fits. I laugh, but there's no humor in it. The timing fits. That's rich. How many guys have you been fucking, Jess? How can you be sure? She starts sobbing, attracting looks from other patrons. I'm sorry, Tom. I'm so sorry. I know I fucked up. But this baby, maybe it's a sign. Maybe we can start over, be a family. I stare at her, incredulous. Is she for real? Does she honestly think a baby can fix this clusterfuck of a situation? A family? I repeat, my voice low and dangerous. You destroy our marriage, fuck around behind my back for months, and now you want to play happy families because you're knocked up? Are you insane? Her face crumples, but I'm too angry to care. I stand up, my chair scraping loudly against the floor. Get a paternity test, I spit out. If it's mine, it'll do right by the kid. But you and me? We're done just for good. As I walk out, leaving her crying at the table, I feel a mix of emotions I can't even begin to untangle. What the hell am I going to do now? The next few weeks are a fucking roller coaster. I move out of Mike's place and into a crappy studio apartment. It's all I can afford now that I'm looking at potential child support payments. Jess keeps trying to contact me, alternating between tearful apologies and angry demands. I ignore most of it, only responding to texts about the pregnancy and upcoming doctor's appointments. I throw myself into work, staying late at the office just to avoid going back to my sad, empty apartment. My coworkers can tell something's up, but I brush off their concerns. How do you even begin to explain this shit show? One night, I'm at a bar drowning my sorrows when I spot a familiar face. It's Jake the fucking taxi driver. He's chatting up some blonde at the end of the bar, probably his next victim. Before I know what I'm doing, I'm walking over to him. Hey Jake, I say, tapping him on the shoulder. He turns, confusion on his face. Remember me? I'm Tom. Jessica's husband. His eyes widen in recognition, and he has the decency to look uncomfortable. Look, man, I don't let him finish. My fist connects with his jaw, sending him sprawling off the bar stool. The blonde screams, the bartender yells for security, but I don't care. I'm on top of Jake, pummeling him, letting out all the anger and pain of the past few weeks. It takes 2 bouncers to pull me off him. As they're dragging me out, I yell, "Hope she was worth it, asshole." I end up spending the night in a jail cell, charged with assault. When they give me my phone call, I hesitate. Who the hell do I even call? In the end, I dial Mike's number. He shows up an hour later to bail me out, shaking his head but not judging. As we drive home in silence, I realize I've hit rock bottom. Something's gotta change. I can't keep living like this. The assault charges are a wake-up call. I realize I'm spiraling, and if I don't get my shit together, I'm gonna end up losing everything: my job, my freedom, maybe even my chance to be a father if this kid turns out to be mine. I start seeing a therapist. Dr. Anderson is a no-nonsense type who doesn't let me wallow in self-pity. She helps me work through my anger and betrayal, teaching me coping mechanisms that don't involve alcohol or punching people. Meanwhile, Jess is about 14 weeks along now. We're civil when we have to interact, but it's tense. She's still pushing for reconciliation, but I'm not having it. The trust is gone, shattered like glass, and I don't think it can ever be repaired. One day, after a particularly draining therapy session, I get a text from an unknown number. Can we talk? My first instinct is to tell him to go fuck himself, but curiosity gets the better of me. We agree to meet at a park, neutral ground where I'm less likely to lose my shit again. He's already there when I arrive, nervously pacing near a bench. His face is still bruised from our bar encounter. "Thanks for meeting me," he says as I approach. "Look, I know I'm probably the last person you want to see, but I needed to clear the air." I cross my arms, waiting. He takes a deep breath. "I'm sorry, man. What Jess and I did, it was fucked up. You didn't deserve that. But you should know, she told me you guys were separated. I had no idea she was still with you." I laugh bitterly. "And that makes it okay?" He shakes his head. "No, it doesn't. But I'm not the asshole you think I am. When I found out the truth, I ended things immediately. I've got my own shit to deal with now. My wife left me when she found out about the affair. I feel a twisted sense of satisfaction at that, but it's hollow. Why are you telling me this?" Jake looks me in the eye. "Because you deserve to know the truth. And because, well, Jess told me about the baby. If it's yours, I hope you can work something out for the kid's sake. But if it's mine, I'll step up. I won't run from my responsibilities." As I watch him walk away, I'm left with a mix of emotions I can't quite sort out. Anger, respect, confusion, and underneath it all, a gnawing fear. What if the baby isn't mine after all? The conversation with Jake leaves me reeling. On one hand, I appreciate his honesty and willingness to take responsibility. On the other, the possibility that this kid might not be mine is like a punch to the gut. I thought I was prepared for that outcome, but now that it's a real possibility, I'm not so sure. I decide to confront Jess about it. We meet at a quiet cafe, and I can see the hope in her eyes when she spots me. It makes me sick. "Did you tell Jake you were separated?" I ask without preamble. She blanches, caught off guard. Tom, it's not?" "Just answer the question, Jess." She deflates, nodding slightly. "I told him we were having problems and living apart. I didn't want him to think I was a complete whore." I laugh, a harsh, bitter sound. "But you were okay with being a partial whore?" "Jesus Christ, Jess." "I'm sorry," she whispers, tears forming in her eyes. "I know I've made a mess of everything. But Tom, this baby might not even be mine," I interrupt. "Jake told me he's willing to step up if it's his. So tell me the truth, Jess. Is there a real possibility this kid isn't mine?" She's full on crying now, mascara running down her cheeks. "I don't know," she sobs. "The timing, it could be either of you." "I'm so sorry, Tom. I never meant for any of this to happen." I sit back, feeling numb. "You never meant for it to happen? You fucked multiple people behind my back for months, Jess. That doesn't just happen." She reaches for my hand, but I pull away. "What do you want to do?" she asks quietly. I take a deep breath, steeling myself. "We're getting a paternity test as soon as it's safe for the baby. And until then, I don't want to hear any more bullshit about reconciliation or family. We're done. The only thing connecting us now is this baby, and we don't even know if that's real yet." As I walk out of the cafe, leaving Jess crying at the table, I feel a strange mix of relief and dread. The next few months are going to be hell, but at least now I have a plan. It's time to start rebuilding my life, with or without this baby in it. The next few months are a blur of work, therapy sessions, and awkward doctor's appointments with Jess. I'm there for the important stuff, ultrasounds, hearing the heartbeat, but I keep my distance emotionally. It's surreal, watching her belly grow, knowing that the life inside might be mine, or might be the product of her betrayal. Jess keeps trying to use the pregnancy to worm her way back into my life. She'll text me at odd hours asking for weird food, claiming it's cravings. Or she'll call in tears because she's scared about the birth. Part of me wants to comfort her, but I remind myself of Jake, of all the other nameless, faceless people she fucked behind my back. Dr. Anderson helps me work through my conflicting emotions. It's okay to care about the baby's well-being without forgiving Jess, she tells me. You can be a good father without being a husband. As the due date approaches, we schedule the paternity test. It's a simple blood draw for Jess, completely safe for the baby. The wait for results is agonizing. 2 weeks before Jess is due, I get a call from an unknown number. Hey, he says, sounding nervous. I thought you should know. Jess has been texting me again, asking me to come over, saying she misses me. I've been ignoring her, but I thought you should know. I feel like I've been punched in the gut. Even now, even pregnant, possibly with my child, she's still trying to cheat. Thanks for telling me, I managed to say before hanging up. I'm seething with anger, but also relieved. It's like the final nail in the coffin of any lingering doubts I had about reconciling. I'm about to call Jess and confront her when my phone pings with an email. It's from the paternity testing lab. With shaking hands, I open it, my heart pounding in my ears. Mr. Thompson, the results of your paternity test are as follows. I stare at the screen, my vision blurring as I read the results over and over again. Probability of paternity, 99.99%. Holy shit. The baby is mine. I'm going to be a father. A storm of emotions hits me all at once, joy, fear, anger, confusion. I'm going to have a kid. With Jess. The woman who betrayed me in the worst possible way. I sit there, frozen, for what feels like hours. My phone keeps buzzing, probably Jess, wanting to know if I've seen the results. But I can't deal with her right now. I need to process this. I end up calling Mike. He listens as I ramble, alternating between excitement about being a dad and fury at the situation. Congrats, man, he says when I finally pause for breath. But, what are you gonna do about Jess? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I hang up with Mike and decide to take a walk to clear my head. As I'm wandering aimlessly through the park, my phone rings. I almost ignore it, but something tells me I should answer. I say, my voice gruff. Tom? Jess sounds panicked. Tom, I need you to come to the hospital. My water just broke. The baby's coming. Of course this would happen now. Of fucking course. I'm on my way, I say, already flagging down a taxi. As I give the driver directions to the hospital, I can't help but appreciate the irony. Here I am, rushing to the birth of my child, in a taxi of all things. Life's got a sick sense of humor sometimes. I make it to the hospital in record time, my heart pounding so hard I can hear it in my ears. The maternity ward is a flurry of activity, and I'm directed to Jess' room. She's there, sweating and panting, her face contorted in pain. For a moment, all the anger and betrayal fade away, and I'm just concerned for her and our child. Tom, she gasps, reaching for my hand. I hesitate for a split second before taking it. I'm so glad you're here. I'm scared. I swallow hard. It's gonna be okay, I say, surprising myself with how calm I sound. You can do this. The next few hours are a blur of doctors, nurses, Jess screams, and my own racing thoughts. I'm about to become a father. With the woman who cheated on me. Who's still trying to cheat on me, if Jake is to be believed. It's all so fucked up. But then, suddenly, there's a new sound cutting through the chaos. A baby's cry. Our baby's cry. It's a girl, the doctor announces, holding up this tiny, wriggling, red-faced creature. The monster. She's beautiful. Perfect. And she's mine. They clean her up and place her in Jess' arms. Jess is crying, looking down at our daughter with a mix of exhaustion and pure love. Do you want to hold her? Jess asks, looking up at me with hope in her eyes. I nod, unable to speak. As I take my daughter in my arms for the first time, I'm overwhelmed with emotion. Love, protectiveness, fear, it all hits me at once. Hi there, I whisper to her. I'm your dad. In that moment, Looking down at this innocent little being, I make a decision. I'm going to be the best damn father I can be. I'm going to protect her, love her, give her everything she needs. But as I look up and see Jess watching us, another realization hits me. Being a good father doesn't mean I have to be with Jess. We can co-parent without being together. As if reading my thoughts, Jess says softly, maybe now we can be a family again? I meet her eyes, my resolve hardening. We can't. The look on Jess' face is a mix of devastation and disbelief. But Tom, we have a daughter now. Don't you think we should try for her sake? I shake my head, gently rocking our newborn daughter. Having a child together doesn't erase what you did. It doesn't fix us. But no, I cut her off firmly. I'm going to be the best father I can be to our daughter. But you and me? We're done. I know about you texting Jake again, even while you were pregnant. Her face pales. Tom, I can explain. Save it, I interrupt. I don't want to hear any more lies or excuses. We're going to have to figure out how to co-parent, but that's it. There is no us anymore. Jess starts crying again, but this time I don't feel the urge to comfort her. My focus is entirely on the tiny human in my arms. A nurse comes in, asking if we've decided on a name. Jess and I look at each other, realizing we never really discussed it. Lily, I say suddenly, remembering how my grandmother's favorite flowers were lilies. Her name is Lily. Jess nods, a sad smile on her face. It's beautiful. Lily it is. As the nurse jots down the name, I sit in the chair next to the bed, still cradling Lily. The reality of the situation starts to sink in. I'm a father now. I have a daughter. And I'm going to have to figure out how to raise her with my cheating ex-wife. We need to talk about custody arrangements, I say to Jess, keeping my voice low and calm for Lily's sake. Jess nods, wiping away her tears. Can we do that later? I'm so tired, Tom. I nod, standing up to place Lily back in her arms. Get some rest. They'll be back tomorrow, and we can start figuring things out. As I leave the hospital room, I feel like I'm walking into a new chapter of my life. It's terrifying and exciting all at once. I have no idea what the future holds, but I know one thing for certain, I'm going to do right by my daughter, no matter what. The next few months are a crash course in parenting, co-parenting, and navigating a post-divorce life. Jess and I managed to work out a custody arrangement that gives us both equal time with Lily. It's not easy, and there are plenty of tense moments and arguments, but we make it work for our daughter's sake. 7. I move into a small 2-bedroom apartment, turning the second room into a nursery for Lily. It's weird, buying tiny clothes and stuffed animals, baby-proofing everything in sight. But every time I look at Lily's face, I know it's all worth it. Jess tries a few more times to reconcile, using Lily as leverage. Don't you want her to have a real family? But I stand firm. I remind her that plenty of kids grow up happy and healthy with divorced parents. One day, as I'm dropping Lily off at Jess' place, I spot Jake's taxi parked outside. My blood boils, but I keep my cool. When Jess opens the door, I simply say, I hope you're not bringing random men around our daughter. She has the decency to look ashamed. It's not like that, Tom. He's been supportive. I shake my head, handing over Lily and her diaper bag. Your love life is your business now, Jess. But if I find out you're putting Lily in any kind of danger, I'll fight for full custody. Understood? She nods, and I leave feeling a mix of anger and sadness. But as I drive away, I realize something. I'm not devastated anymore. The pain of Jess' betrayal has dulled, replaced by a fierce love for Lily and a determination to be the best dad I can be. As Lily grows, I find myself growing too. I learn patience I never knew I had, find joy in the smallest things, her first smile, her first laugh, the way she grips my finger with her tiny hand. My relationship with Jess settles into a kind of detached cordiality. We're not friends, but we're not enemies either. We're just two people trying to raise a child together despite our past. I start dating again cautiously. It's weird at first, trying to balance being a dad with having a personal life. But I meet a woman named Rachel who's understanding about my situation. She's got a kid of her own from a previous marriage, so she gets it. As Lily's first birthday approaches, I find myself reflecting on the crazy journey of the past 2 years. The pain of Jess' betrayal seems like a lifetime ago. I'm not thankful for what she did, but I'm thankful for where I ended up. We have a small party for Lily. Jess is there, and so is Rachel. It's a bit awkward, but we all manage to focus on celebrating our little girl. Watching Lily smash her cake, laughing and covered in frosting, I feel a profound sense of peace. Looking back, I never could have imagined this is where I'd end up when I first caught Jess cheating. The path here was painful and messy, but I wouldn't change it. I've got my daughter, I've got my self-respect, and I've got a future that looks brighter than I ever thought possible. To anyone out there going through something similar, here's my advice. It gets better. It might not feel like it now, but you'll survive. You'll heal. And you might just end up somewhere amazing, even if it's not where you expect it to be. Life's funny like that. Sometimes the worst moments lead to the best outcomes. You just gotta hang in there and keep moving forward. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for watching my videos, sharing them, and supporting me along the way. Your views, comments, and likes are the driving force behind my passion to create captivating and unexpected stories. Every tale I share is more than just a plot. It's a journey of emotions, lessons, and reflections that we experience together. Your engagement brings life and soul to this channel. Thank you for sticking with me until the very end of each video because the finale of every story is where the real impact lies. I promise to continue delivering twists and turns that surprise, inspire, and resonate with your hearts.